What's going on, guys? Trailkilla here. I'm back. Let me tell you what that means. I've realized that I can do so much for this channel and for my viewers by just reviewing some stuff, talking about the things that I like to do, and anytime I have a chance to put up a hiking video, whether it's with my family or with the dog or anything, anything that's related to the trail. Makes sense, right? So I think from here on out, you guys are going to see that I am a little more active on this channel. I definitely have some stuff that I want to talk about, some new equipment, some things that I've always done that I think are important to go over. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully you like it. Hey, it's Syntax77. Hello. Hello?
Mike.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy? What's going down?
Not much. It's funny. I was just filming for the Trailkilla and talking about how I would like to be a little more active, and if that means just even reviewing some stuff that I like to do or have, then that's what it's going to have to be. I just, you know, it's been too long.
Speaking of which, what are you doing this weekend?
I don't really have any plans this weekend. Why? What are you thinking?
Well, it's only 5 days of winter left like that.
Oh. Are you trying to get me to go out on a hike, on a winter hike? Because I haven't?
Yeah, but not around here.
Yeah, there's not much snow outside.
No, there's no snow here. No, we should go to New Hampshire.
I don't know if I have enough time to go to New Hampshire, dude.
You just said you're off this weekend.
I know, but I mean, I have to work Friday, and then, you know, I have to work Monday, so, and it's like 9 hours to get there.
I get the concept of the weekend, but look, Friday night we leave, then we get there, then we hike, obviously, right?
Yeah.
One night, that's it, and then Sunday, hike up, drive back.
Where are you thinking? Like, where do you want to hike up to?
Well, here's the deal. This is why I said New Hampshire, because I know I was just there like a month ago.
Okay.
I think exactly a month ago I was there. But I was thinking maybe Mount Crawford, which is, I've been trying to drag you up there for a while in the summer and stuff, and it hasn't worked out. So I say we go back in winter.
All right, yeah. They have some.
That we did together.
They have some trees up there. You want to like do a hammock or something?
You know, when I thought about Crawford before, I've been on the fence about hammock versus trees, because I do remember the trees being kind of thin. But you're good. Your pack's gonna be nice and light this time for a winter trip. You don't need a hammock or a tent.
Where are we gonna sleep?
Just on the ground.
On the ground? Like,
yeah, see,
like in the snow?
Well, yeah, see, my last video, I did this whole scenario where I was supposed to, I had a system where you could sleep on the ground or in a hammock. So I was going to pretend there was an emergency on the second night, and my hammock didn't work, and I was going to sleep on the ground and test the system out, and I failed miserably. So, so this time I said on that video, I'll just come back and I'll sleep on the ground, just like dedicated to the trip. And I figured you might as well come too, because we do really good at projects together. Think about it, Mike. We could build. If there's enough snow, and they just got another like 16 inches last week. If there's enough snow, we could like dig in, make a little cave. Oh, and you can bring a bivvy.
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah, not a bivvy tent. Just an emergency bivvy sack.
See, so you want me to go drive 9 hours, hike up to the top of a mountain, emergency camp, and come back and drive 9 hours back and go to work?
Yeah.
All right.
But don't tell anybody. It's not really going to be an emergency, hopefully. We'll have fun.
All right.
Test. You're going to love it.
All right. Well, I guess I can do that. I'll talk to the wife. Figure it out.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, man.
All right.
All right. Later.
All right. I'll talk to you.
What the heck did I just agree to? Man, it's going to be cold.
Good stuff. Excited about this.
We are here now. We are at Davis Path parking area, and we will be going up to Crawford. Now, the idea was that Sean wanted me to come up here and go to the top of Crawford, Triumph and Return from like 6 years ago, and camp on top of Crawford and go back home, as I talked about when, actually, as he talked about, as he pitched it to me on the phone. And as always on our winter trips, the conditions always change. And currently we're dealing with about 70 to 100 mile gusts of wind possibly on the top of that mountain, with a wind chill of about negative 40 to 50. So who knows what's going to happen, but we're going to try to go to the top to take a look, but I don't know if we're going to actually be able to set up camp. I'm not even sure we're going to be able to set up camp down below, but we have to because we need to sleep and we don't have a hotel. And setting up camp is different this time because we don't really have a tent or a hammock. We're going to sleep in the snow with sleeping pads, sleeping bags, and this like waterproof bivvy, emergency bivvy that he wanted to try out, so I had to do it too, right? So I'm gonna get dressed and get on the trail. The key to winter trip is not to wear a big jacket, but to wear lots of layers that equal a big jacket, because when you start hiking, you get hot and you gotta strip things off and then put things back on when you stop, and it's a lot of fun. What's going on, guys? Trailkilla here. Why am I restarting this video? Well, the last thing you saw was me getting ready to go on a winter hike with Sean from the trailhead. And I didn't film until I got basically to camp, and not even when I got to camp, I didn't even start filming until there was a hole pretty much dug where I was going to sleep for the night. And so to talk about the reason I didn't film and to tell you about the trip and how it worked, I got Syntax 77 here with me.
Hey.
Who, that brings up a good point, who did film. And let me tell you, that is some serious dedication to film when it is negative 15 degrees with wind chills of negative 40, because I couldn't do it. So yeah, the reason, I'm pretty sure the reason he was even able to film is because there was two people. Because when you were in a serious situation where it's very cold and you have to think about everything, the survival things are the first thing you need to do. The filming comes second. And his last video, it was almost, I mean, I'm sure there was other things going on, but that was part of your problem, right? It was just that you couldn't do the things you need to do to survive and also film, or did you just run out of time?
No, the problem on that video was I wanted to set up camp two different styles.
Oh.
And so I set up a hammock camp, and then I went on an excursion up to the summit. And then by the time I got back, I was supposed to completely tear down the hammock setup. It was only like 4:30, and then set up a trench like we did, but it was dark. And I said, do I film in the dark, which you won't see anything anyway, or do I just eat and come back for another trip? So I ate and I melted snow and whatnot. It just would have, maybe if sunset was at 9:30 instead of 4:30, I would have been fine.
Or if, I mean, I do feel like if I was there, I could have been melting snow, cooking,
Well,
helping
everything
break down
would have went
stuff.
faster. Sure.
Correct. So it's just, I mean, priorities when you're in a life situation, which really when you're in that kind of weather, it is a life situation. You have to do the most important things first. And I think I just punked out, honestly. I'm just trying to make myself feel better. I just legitimately, the only thing I could think about was getting to where I need to go. And the way my brain works is I can't even enjoy myself, even with surprises like a Crown Royal, until
Right.
I feel comfortable. And this is something we talked about on this trip, which is something it took us like 5 years to figure this out. But I don't do good with surprises because the first thing I'm thinking about when I get to camp is nothing but, do I have a place to sleep? Is my place where I'm cooking food and my food gonna work out? And then once everything is set up, I can totally let go and enjoy myself. And that's just me, and that's how I am with my own house too. I can't even relax unless everything's done. I got some OCD problems. They're not super bad. It's not like I gotta flip the switch 5 times.
Yep.
It's just I need things to be in order before I can relax. So that happened on this trip. I was so worried about survival and just making sure things were going to work that I didn't even think about you guys until it was too late. And I got home and I'm like, my film went from a phone call from Sean asking me to do a trip to being in the parking lot, which that's where I was going to start anyway.
That's cool
Yeah,
so far.
I was going to do
With
that
you so
anyway.
far.
And then all of a sudden I was like, my next clip is, here's this trench where I'm sleeping. Do you see that? That's just because it's so cold that when I breathe, it's just creating icicles on my chin. But we just finished the place we're gonna sleep. Used the tube and fiber tarp. Used a couple trash bags to anchor it down, some trees and a pole. But I'm gonna get under here and flatten everything out a little bit. So it'll be more comfortable when we sleep, and also try to dig a pack out of this thing. That'll be a little easier to use. Maybe like, you know, this way. But not too shabby under here. Not too bad, bud.
Not bad?
Nah.
Digging it? Get it?
Yeah, I'm digging it. Then the next thing I have on there is, here's some food. Here's a fire. I'm on the top of a mountain the next day.
It's all right, though. That's why we have two,
It was like horrible.
that's why we have 2 videos. They go well together.
Oh
This
man,
is more
so,
of a reflection type video right now.
yeah, it totally is. And I mean, it was a tough trip. I really think that it was mentally and physically straining, more than any other trip I've been on. You know, those winter trips, the older I get, the harder they get. But that it seems like the weather just always tries to mess with us a little bit.
Yeah, we had
Just-
some bad weather.
just hasn't been. The first winter trip we ever took was nice weather. It was like 35 degrees. Actually, it was not so good at first, but the next day it was like 30 degrees, sunny, beautiful. I felt like I was in a winter wonderland, and I have since had.
But even on that
haven't
trip,
had that experience.
even on that trip, the first day was 80 mile per hour.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We went over this mountain.
So-
It was like hurricane, but then the next day I felt what a nice winter day could be like, and I have been searching for that ever since, and just have not had luck with those conditions. But needless to say, we got out of the car, put our packs on, started hiking over the bridge, and immediately hit the snow, which was at first okay.
Yeah.
To not have snowshoes
Yeah.
on. But you know, I was winded, and you know, I have a bunch of layers on, which is important because if you wear one big jacket, you're gonna sweat to death. So you do have to have tons of different layers so you can shed stuff. Because immediately, I'd say about 20 minutes in, we were already taking off one of our layers.
Absolutely.
And I'd say about 20 minutes later, we were putting on that layer again. Because
yeah,
we
depending
got
on wind and stuff.
because the wind started picking back up, and it instantly took the heat off of you. So you do have to have layers to play around like that. Really important.
Yep.
We also at the same time put our snowshoes on around the time we put that layer back on.
Probably should have put them on earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny when you're walking, you're like, I don't need them yet. It's probably just because you don't want to stop. But on the way out, when we were tracing our tracks back out, we were like, look at this post holing. Oh, that's from us. looks like a bunch of idiots. They should have had their snowshoes on. But it's like it gets deeper and deeper, and the next thing you know, you're like, yeah, I should have put my snowshoes on like a half mile ago.
Yeah.
Wasting a bunch of energy.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, as soon as they were on, it was like
it was different,
night and day
right?
difference, so I probably didn't need to expend so much energy at first.
And better traction, not worrying, tensing up, thinking you're going to fall all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were lucky. Sean, you found a couple spots on your
Oh, yeah, that worked
your
out.
map where it might be flat. And because there's so much snow, I'm pretty sure that's the only reason we were able to camp where we camped, because normally there would be too much vegetation.
Yeah, we lucked out on that.
But
Yeah.
the trees were pretty covered, so we had a little more area to work with. And
Right.
it doesn't have to be totally flat when there's snow, as you know,
It was mega
because you're
flat.
stomping your area around, you can make a flat area. So we did make a flat area, and it worked out pretty well. We had a nice little spot, as you saw in his video.
It was good.
But testing out this Bivvy was interesting, because I didn't, like a responsible person, the first time I opened it up was
Up there.
up there, and I didn't realize that it really didn't fit me too well.
No. I got some tips for you on that, too.
Yeah.
From viewers, but keep going.
Well, so I realized when I got home, because I was like, this is crazy. Like, how is this not? I'm not a big guy. Like, I mean, I might be broad-shouldered, but I'm not a big guy. Like, this can't not fit me. So I got home and I got in my sleeping bag, and then I got into the Bivvy, and I fit.
Oh, okay.
But what I noticed was if I stood up in it, like I actually got in it and put it on like
Like you're putting on
like
a nice...
this, and then zipped it up.
Right.
I was like totally in it and good
then-
to go. And then I could have laid down, but I couldn't have done that with
We were low.
a low tarp over top of us. But if you were in an emergency situation, I'm guessing you wouldn't have a tarp anyway.
Right.
Maybe you
Right,
would.
you just step
wouldn't.
into that thing,
You
yeah.
just step into that thing, and
You might not even have a
sleep.
sleeping bag in an
You
emergency
wouldn't, yeah,
situation.
and then
Might
you
not.
really would fit. But it was interesting because I was super warm anyway. I had the right clothing, but just the fact that I had it pretty much cinched down to, my waist down, my legs were so warm that it regulated my body temperature, and I slept really good.
I slept good, too.
Yeah, I slept really good. And we were also away from the wind because we dug that hole, which was a very good idea. I think that held some temperature.
I think so.
Held some heat in there, and having that wind off of us from the tarp was a huge help. But
I did have 2 viewers recommend the same Bivvy for you. It's a V3 trifecta, I think. 2Go Systems, and they make a big one, or I should say they make a standard, and then they also make an XL, which I think might have been good for you.
oh,
Yeah, and it's wide. Like, it's not like double wide, but it looks like maybe like 1.5 times the width. This sucker looks big.
That
So
might be good
you
for
would have
me.
slipped right into it in a snow trench situation,
Yeah.
I think. It was like
Yeah.
$60, so it would have been about $20 more.
I probably wouldn't have spent that much on it. That
Yeah,
was the
no.
other thing. I didn't even want
We
to
didn't
spend
wanna
money on
spend that
something
much.
like that, so I ended up just buying the 30, the on sale $30 one. It was normally 40. Is this guy right here?
And it's going to work better. The other one that I was just talking about is great, but this is a better, like, I'm just going to throw it in a bag and hope I don't need it type
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, it's nice that I have it. I definitely would probably take it. I mean, it would definitely save my life if I really needed it.
Yeah.
I do know that
Keep
now.
you dry and warmer.
But it would, being in the cold, it is awful for the hands, which is why I respect Sean so much for actually filming, because it took, for every minute that I did something without my warm gloves on, it took 5 minutes to warm back up.
Yeah, it was
So you
bad.
really have to plan a lot with what you're doing in the extreme cold. And without that fire, I don't know if I could have even done any of the stuff. Like, I don't know if I could have cooked as much as I was doing and enjoyed myself, because getting that fire going, to be able to warm your fingertips back up instantly was a huge help. I mean, we were running back and forth, and that was also keeping my body warm. But even the fire was challenging, because you're burning sticks this big that burn in seconds. So you're not only running around collecting little pieces of sticks to keep the fire going, but you're also trying to do what you have to do and warm up. And you don't have much time to mess up. When we woke up in the morning, I saved enough firewood where I was able to start a fire again to help warm up our fingers, which was key also, because to be able to physically roll up your stuff tight to get back into a backpack that has too much stuff in it anyway, you have to get it really tight again. And the only way to do that is to really not have huge gloves and to really like cinch down your stuff. And every time you do that, your fingers just freeze. So to have that fire going again, to be able to warm back up and then run over and do another sleeping bag and stuff it in, key. I don't know if I could have packed the way I did and got it all fitting in there again if I didn't have that fire. So fire saved me mentally on this trip. And then we packed up, we got up to the top of the mountain, and it was beautiful.
This was.
It was beautiful. I'm
Yeah,
glad
good.
we did it.
I mean, it still was like some wind chill.
Yeah.
My face got beat up, and I only had it exposed for 5 minutes at the most.
Yeah, there was a shot I had, and I'll show it right now, but I went to go film, and it just hit me.
Yeah.
It was like a
So it
punch.
was
It came
windy.
out of nowhere. It was like, boom, and I couldn't even talk for like a minute. And then it finally stopped, and I was able to talk. But we finally made it. Holy crap. It was very windy and cold.
So the day before probably would have been pretty brutal.
Oh, it would have been worse.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
For
what
sure.
the forecast was and the data shows.
So making the right decision, staying where we were, and then trying to make it the next day worked out. But I'm glad we got to the top. We haven't been to the top of the mountain in a long time.
No. And we'll get back there someday and actually camp in that, stupid spot.
Yeah, definitely,
Someday.
for sure.
But now we know. We went up there and we saw it. So you go down. So we go down. You
It's
get
almost
some
off the
protection.
mountain almost. I mean, it's
Oh,
on
it's
the side
definitely.
of it.
Yeah,
like
it's not.
side of it.
It's not really the summit. It's not the
No.
summit at all. But it's an awesome spot down there. It's still
super
like just as good views as from the top.
Yeah,
It's
beautiful.
crazy.
That mountain is probably underrated. It's probably one of the best mountain views. You have 360-degree of just amazing views of the surrounding.
Just about all the coolest peaks,
Oh.
or a lot of the most popular peaks.
You can see
are
from
right
that.
there.
It is got to be, other than Isolation Mountain, one of the best views. And if you haven't been to Isolation Mountain, that's another one where you get on the top and you're like, wow, you can see everything. And I really enjoy that mountain. And it's
Yeah.
easy to get to. I mean, it is definitely straight up, and you don't get very much break. You're going up
Yeah,
the whole time.
it gets it in quick.
But yeah, we got up there, then we came back down pretty fast. I was trucking. I mean, we got down real fast.
You went real fast, but didn't fall at all.
No, I kept
So that's
falling.
good. No, I don't remember
I
that.
fell every second. I was so careless and haphazard. I was just flying down that mountain, and every so often I would start slipping and I'd fall. Luckily, I didn't break anything, but I was pretty determined to get to the car as fast as possible so I could be done and get some food and head home. But I was worn out. When my adrenaline got back down, when I got to the Jeep, I was ready to pass out. I didn't realize how much my adrenaline was up just being in that condition, just to stay alert. Because when I was safe, I crashed. But that's the trip. So I apologize for not filming, but I did want to reach out to you guys and kind of share my experience and let you know that why I didn't film. Yeah.
It's hard and sometimes annoying to film on any trip. I don't even know what it feels like, actually. I've never done a trip and not filmed, but I know that it has to be way more relaxing to go on a trip and not film. But in the winter, it's like, well, you've already said it, but
No, it's
there's
even
just
worse.
so much stuff going on.
Yeah, what it would be like to go on a
battery
hiking
life.
trip and not film?
I don't know.
Do you know what it's like?
I don't know what it's like. The closest thing I've ever done is I did a video of our canoe trip years ago with TJ and the guys. And like, I want to say like a month later, I did the same route with my wife, canoe trip. And we did camp one night, I think one night. And I didn't do a video because it wasn't really backpacking. It was the exact same thing I just did. That's the closest I've ever come to not filming on a trip. And that felt pretty good. But
So I can attest to doing things and not filming. I recently went on an Arizona trip, which I will post on Trailkilla, but I have been putting the videos on Family Life for Real, and it's very appropriate to put on the hiking channel. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out how to do that and throw that on there soon, so whoever's not subscribed to Family Life for Real can see it. But there was a couple or the one trip that I really liked, it was a nice mountain trip. I didn't film on the way down. First of all, I didn't want to show you the same thing I did coming back.
Sure.
It wasn't a loop. And hiking down was nice. I didn't have to think about filming. It was just me hiking. I was with my wife. It was a different experience. So, you know, sometimes I feel like you might want to cut a day where you just have yourself.
I
you
couldn't
might
bring
want to
myself to do it.
Your viewers would hate you.
Well, I just wouldn't tell them. But I would, I would be like afterwards. I'd be like, I should have filmed that.
What are we gonna do in Colorado?
What do you mean?
I don't know. We're gonna do this Colorado trip.
Yeah, you mean like what is our route? Where are we going?
No,
or...
are you gonna film? or
Oh,
are you just gonna
yeah.
not
I can't
film?
go to Colorado and not film.
Yeah, me neither.
No. So same thing. I have another one of these videos where we compare the outcome.
We could take turns.
We could.
Day 1, day 2.
Oh, right. And be like, all right, now
Day
go
3,
watch
day
this
4.
channel. Now go watch my channel.
Yeah.
Now go watch, yeah.
And then you could have one day where you just don't do anything. And you're like, look at that guy
wasting his time.
suffering, wasting his time.
Not enjoying nature with that tripod in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching Trail Killer. I'll see you guys next time. In fact, next time will be soon. I have a lot of stuff to review. I have a lot of stuff to catch up on, and this channel is going to get going now.
I don't mean to cut you off so close to the outro, but somebody said they are, quote, waiting with bated breath for your Taco Bell bowl review. Now, I think that they were being slightly sarcastic, but there's people out there that want to know about that Taco Bell bowl.
Dude, I have used this Taco Bell bowl for 6 years. It's
I
still
told
going
him-
strong.
I told him don't worry, it's coming, but it's going to be a while because we're going to have crane shots, we're going to have CGI, animation. It's probably going to be a good hour and a half to 2 hours long, in depth
Well, I
about
guess
the Taco Bell bowl.
I better make it good then.
Yeah, close-up angles on it.
All right, so Taco Bell bowl is going to be one of those videos then.
Definitely, 2 hour review.
Honestly, if it's not Taco Bell, I'm going to find another restaurant that has this, and you're going to get one. That's going to be part of it. You got to
Did
get
they
one of these
stop
bowls.
doing those bowls?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
All joking aside, this is serious.
So we might have to do a couple fast food restaurant searches.
Yeah. Okay, here's a video. That would be entertaining.
Exactly.
All
All right, guys. I'll see you next time.
All right.